Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, the new app that might keep you safe as it tracks crime and emergencies near you.
An inside look into a skateboarder's life while skating in San Francisco.
And the latest movies coming out this holiday season.
And we will take a deep look into some abstract machines, also known as automata. We will have all that and more next on Urban Nights Update.
Hi there, and thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. Ash Zhang is here sitting with me. I'm Charlotte Miller, and here's what's happening. Unhealthy air conditions continue here in the Bay Area as the Air Quality Index reports that the quality of air is in the 150 to 300 range, which is causing major issues. Face masks are starting to sell out here in San Francisco stores due to the issue, and the air quality just seems to be getting worse.
As a wild popular maker of e-cigarette, Juul Labs announced that it will stop selling most flavor vaping import from today. They also closed all their social media such as Instagram and Facebook because of the policy of team vaping from federal government. Juul will continue to sit in menthol, mint, and tobacco flavor pods. Sweet flavor pods will only be available through website by an age system to eliminate sale to minors.
Heart disease is a health concern that many Americans face and succumb to. Matt Watkins took us an inside look on what it's like living with this type of disease.
About 610,000 people die of heart disease in the United States every year. That is 1 in every 4 deaths.
I had my heart attack about 9 months ago.
The session begins by placing a heart monitor on the patient to monitor their body's reaction to exercise for the following hour.
I'm good. How are you?
You should know your blood pressure. You should know what your cholesterol is. You should get physicals. It's very important to know what kind of health you have.
Every 20 seconds, a heart attack occurs, and a heart attack fatality occurs about every minute. Sean Rogers, a cardiac physiologist, explains the effects of the heart and the heart attacks.
I'm an exercise physiologist at Cardiovascular Associates of Marin. Probably my day-to-day duties, monitoring people with heart disease, cardiovascular disease, making sure that they're exercising safely and efficiently. We monitor your heart rates, blood pressure, all that good stuff, just making sure that we're exercising safely. And our goal is pretty much just to improve our patients' endurance, get them back to where they were before their cardiac events, and just give them the tools necessary to promote overall longevity moving forward.
So with heart disease, and seeing a doctor, they're going to want you to take medications. I have to take blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication to make sure that my blood pressure is in check. Cardiac rehab program, it's been great. Workout sessions and stretching. It was about 6 months of rehab, and I started feeling better and more normal.
In Novato, California, I'm Matt Watkins reporting for Urban Nights Update.
Staying on the topic of heart disease, Tara Cooley and a few other students want to discuss this event further.
Thank you. I'm Tara Cooley, and joining me this evening is Caden Spilsbury, Elijah Smith, and Taylor Martin. And this evening, we're going to be talking about heart disease and health of your heart. Is that something that you guys think about today, or does your day-to-day affect maybe later on in the future if you're going to have a heart attack?
I guess for me personally, I'm still at the age where I'm not so much worrying about having a heart attack. I call myself I think I'm in pretty good shape for what I do. I mean, I play sports as well as both of these two gentlemen here. And I know family members that have had heart disease and heart problems, and I should be taking it more seriously, but at the time, I don't think someone like me should be worrying about that as of right now.
I think you're right. Sports and health kind of goes hand in hand because athletes have to be somewhat in shape, in good health. But I think that health has kind of gone to the next level, and it's more so become a trend in today's society.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all the fitness models on Instagram, like half of what they do is health-based,
Well,
like
eating
with
good.
eating good and that sort of thing to stay in shape. And it's like a trend to be in shape right now.
I think it's just important overall to keep your body in good shape, and that's just fueling your body as well. I mean, like heart attacks are like known for like a lot of red meats or just stuff heavy to get your like to clog up your arteries or such and such.
Yeah.
So I think that it's good to start now to at least like develop a good eating habit in order to sustain like a long living. But
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, a lot of people are still putting junk in their body that you might get those cheat days, but
Well, yeah, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
You can't like eat McDonald's 7 days
yeah,
a week.
I mean, that's
but-
gonna
Well,
shorten your life.
speaking of eating, because as you guys said, that you're athletes, but when you're not athletes anymore, do you think if your exercise slows down that you'll focus more on what you're putting into your body?
Yeah. I mean, you guys are still playing sports. I finished, but like I've noticed myself not eating as healthy, I would say, but it starts to slow down, and I think that might affect daily life. You know, I haven't
Yeah.
really felt it yet.
Health goes side by side with lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like if you have an active lifestyle, even for older people, if you don't play football or baseball or basketball, whatever it is you do, I mean, there's still other ways to stay in shape
Yeah.
to make sure that your body is in good condition. People live to be a long time, live to be very old, and they don't do it by eating junk
Yeah.
food. They do it with health, exercise, and anything else that will affect their overall health.
Yeah. I think it's just important to really like focus in on what you're putting in your body, just to sustain like longevity. But at the same time, people don't really care about that. They just like enjoy like the red burger, the meaty
So do
bacon.
I.
Yeah, I mean, I had one last night.
Well, now I'm kind of worried because you guys are talking about being healthy, like off when you guys aren't playing baseball. You know, me, every single day I have school. You know, I just go to Chipotle just because it's the closest option, and I'm
Yeah.
not. You know, that's something I should probably think
Be
about.
worried
But
about,
now
yeah.
I'm kind of worried.
I sometimes regret getting that burger. Like last night, I ate a lot, but
I don't regret it.
you feel it after.
Yeah.
But
It's probably easier if you're exercising constantly. You're like, oh, I'll just burn it off later.
yeah, that's like how I used to feel like, okay, I can eat this, I'm gonna burn it off. But now it's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna really get to it. So
Well, good insight, you guys. That's all the time we have. Back to you.
Thanks, Tara. Bay Area Rapid Transit officials are presenting their latest plans to build a second Transbay tube connecting San Francisco to the East Bay. This plan will also present the idea of BART being a 24-hour service. According to BART officials, a second tube would double the capacity of riders and improve connections with other rail systems. The idea has been in works for a while, and the plan to build the tube would take even longer. If everything goes according to plan, BART would begin construction in 10 years.
Bay Area Toll Plaza may soon be the thing for the past. Transit officials are pushing towards an all-electric toll system that would mean ripping out the existing boothing and replacing them with cameras that would capture the license plate of the vehicles. Last year, the California Highway Patrol logged about 250 accidents in Bay Area toll plazas, so switching to automatic cameras would cost less of a digestion. Officials approved all change, but it would take years to implement.
Planning on traveling today? Well, Google Maps is available to help you avoid the Thanksgiving crowds on the road. Google has analyzed data from Google Maps that will help you avoid the rush, giving you insight on a good time to hit the road and even let you know the day before and after Thanksgiving, which places are most popular. Google considers the Thanksgiving holiday period to start the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and end on Black Friday. Be safe on the roads. Do you feel safe on the streets of San Francisco? If the answer is no, then don't worry. There's a new mobile app that will help you keep safe. The app provides instant notification of nearby emergencies and reported incidents and is available on all iOS and Android systems. Your very own Caden Spilsbury has even more.
There's a new crime-fighting app keeping people safe in San Francisco. The app is called Citizen, and its purpose is to make the user's travel safer. The app tracks any dangerous activity happening near you and notifies you. Anything from a small suspicion to a mass shooting, Citizen has got you covered. Tiffany, whose identity would like to be kept secret, explains how she uses the app.
I was at work when I got a notification from the Citizen app that said that there was a man brandishing a knife very close to a Target that we usually go to. And that's when my coworker told me that she was headed to Target, and I told her that no, that you can't go to that area because it's dangerous. There's, someone potentially attacking the public.
The app only operates in New York and San Francisco, but the developers are trying to gain a big enough team for all cities around the United States. The team on the app are highly trained dispatchers, and they monitor all 911 and emergency communications in the city. Everything on the app is verified through police report that developers gained access to.
1010, respond to male with firearm near Prospect Park Playground. I'm heading west towards park entrance. Check and advise. 10-4 Central, I'm on my way.
Users can now be fully aware of their surroundings and can use this app to determine which route to your destination is safest. That's if you use the app correctly. This app also allows you to record video of an unfolding crime and upload it to the app. However, some will say that this app can do more harm than good by curious citizens. Brett Beauvais explains the dangers of being able to record and upload at a crime scene.
What comes to mind, and I know it's obviously fiction, is the movie Nightcrawler. And that's something where this guy literally sits around and listens to police scanners and tries to find crime, and then he goes and films it before anybody's there, before it's safe, before there's cops, before there's ambulances, and he gets in the midst of crimes and puts himself in a lot of really dangerous situations, actually. And this app seems like a way to streamline that and to take the police scanner out of it and to make it even easier for people to potentially find these crimes and seek them out and put themselves in a dangerous situation.
Brett is right. Don't use this app if you're looking for vigilante justice. Chances are you might get hurt.
No, Robin. No. It's not for mortals like us to tamper with the laws of nature.
The app has over 300,000 users in the Bay Area. Do you feel safe enough not to have it? In San Francisco, I'm Caden Spilsbury for Urban Nights Update.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, the most represented dish must be Grandma showing off a cooked bird, so plump that it weighs down a banquet plate. However, this Thanksgiving, small birds are having a big moment. People are starting to understand it is so not natural to grow 30-pound turkeys.
Speaking of turkeys, now on this week question of the week. Every year there is something that gets bigger and bigger in big city. Although it's been praised, its bad comments are what stand out the most. The people are stirring up San Francisco. Reporter Nicholas Bofman rolling with them to see what it's all about.
For a long time, skaters have been seen by the public as a bunch of kids riding around on a piece of wood up to no good. For these guys though, it's something completely different. It's more like a big family of people going through things in life, and they all share this one common idea.
We just love to skate.
In the recent years, 19-year-old Paul Chikon moved to San Francisco from Nigeria. One of the main things he brought with him, his skateboard. Here he has adjusted to the fast San Fran lifestyle and found a home in a group of friends that all have the same love and passion for skateboarding like he does.
Well, it was hard because no one skated, but I didn't really care because I was just like, yeah. Because also, I grew up in the States, back and forth, and I need friends here. I had friends here who skated, but my friends back there who skated. I was like, whatever, I'm skating. Everyone who skates is pretty much family, to be honest, just in the world, but especially in San Francisco because it's such a big part of the culture here.
Although it looks like a lot of fun, this kind of lifestyle isn't easy and comes with a lot of issues like
cars breaking boards, cops kicking you out of spots,
Although it's not easy, they all stick together and they use San Francisco as their own skate world.
Pretty much anyone that skates, it's I don't know, it's a pretty respect for anyone who can skate around here, but it's pretty fun. And over here it's just a playground. Every street, every block and shit like that, it's anywhere you look where anything is possible. It's so fun though.
According to publicskateparkguide.org, There are over 9 million skateboarders in the United States. They may have a bad reputation, but there are countless skaters helping the community in some way. Someone once told me to never judge a book by its cover. Although these skaters may have a bad rep, they don't seem to be anywhere near what they're made out to be. In San Francisco, I'm Nicholas Boffman for your Urban Nights Update.
Nicholas Boffman is sitting in with Paul as he explained what life is like as a skateboarder.
Thanks. As you saw in the video, Paul is a really good skater and he's a cool guy. And now we have the awesome opportunity to have him in studio. So here with me is Paul, and we're gonna get straight into it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I know you said a little bit in the video, but we want to know, how did you get into skating?
Just video games and watching early Tony Hawk video games, watching X Games, and just watching my friends do it and watching other people do it, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice. So seeing that, I want to know, who's like your idol skater? Who do you look up to?
Oh, that changes a lot, but as of right now, I'm probably Jamie Foy, just because he's super confident and gnarly. He doesn't give up, he just does whatever he wants to do and kind of,
So that's who you try to roll out your skate after everything?
Exactly.
So we talked about it a lot actually in the video. What is the culture like in San Francisco to you, the skating culture?
Oh, it's beautiful. This is where skateboarding really started and became like a big community back in the 90s, so it's still alive and well, thankfully.
So I know you've lived in a few places, so the culture here, like skateboarding culture here, how does it compare to the cultures in other skateboarding cultures in other cities?
Oh, all right. So the most recent place I skated that was in SF was Texas, and it was pretty interesting there because they don't have that many hills, so it's all parks, and it's a lot of park-oriented skating. So they're really good at flat ground, but they can't bomb hills to save their life. Like they don't know how to go fast, so that's very interesting.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the hill bombing? Or
I like going fast. I like like seeing how fast I can go until I basically just, hurt myself.
Speaking of hurting yourself, we got to know.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to know, actually, what is the most craziest, gnarliest crash that you've ever had? Like, we got to hear it. What happened?
I was bombing 2 hills, actually, one that connected to the other. And halfway through the second one, I noticed that a car was going to run the stop sign. And I was like, all right, cool. Do I go behind the car or in front of the car? And I ended up basically just crashing into the car and breaking my arm. But I had a cup of coffee in my right hand that did not spill.
What? So you broke your
left arm? I broke my left arm, had a cup of coffee in my right arm, and skated home. And went to the hospital at 4 in the morning on my birthday because I didn't realize it was broken until like 8 hours later. Yeah.
So the adrenaline was just
rushing? The adrenaline was just rushing.
And it was on your birthday? How old
on my
did you
birthday,
turn?
20.
20?
20, literally a couple months ago, in July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, that's one heck of a birthday gift right there.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us in studio today. It was an honor. Nicholas Boffman, Paul Chacon.
Nice.
Back to you guys.
Unbelievable. I can't believe he didn't spill his coffee. From the streets to the hardwood, let's check into Amy Smith for this week's sports.
Thanks, Shyla. Welcome, Urban Nights fans. Today, we will see which ArtU sports team hit the ground running while others were sidelined. The women's and men's cross-country teams attacked the hills in Montana at the NCAA Division II Western Regionals. The men's basketball team shoots on over to their home court for a nail-biter. Then we will round out sports with women's basketball and esports. Let's get to the line. Traveling to Montana for the NCAA Division II West Regionals Championships, the men's and women's cross-country teams both finished 11th Saturday morning. The first thing these teams were faced with was a different element: snow. The men's 10K had over 160 runners competing. Freddie Hessen led the men, finishing 27th overall, just 2 spots outside of the All-West Region honors. Victor Marrero was next for the Urban Knights, crossing the line in 50th. After the 3 more runners crossed the finish line, all of which were in the top 100. With the 11th place finish as the team, the Urban Knights were top Pac West team. Freddie Hassan shares his thoughts on the race and season.
Today didn't pan out the way I expected, and Obviously the team, sort of a bad day for all of us really. We wanted to qualify today. But yeah, as a whole, the season was pretty positive.
The women embraced the cold. In 3 of the 5 RU runners set 3 lifetime best records. The pace was set by Hasna Korov, who earned all West region honors by finishing 25th overall. Pac West Freshman of the Year, Audrey Rosencrantz, finished 54th overall. Chandler Johnson, in her 3rd NCAA regional race, came across in 87th. The Lady Knights squad finished 11th overall. The men's basketball team hit the court this past Wednesday at Kezar Pavilion against the Pioneers of Cal State East Bay for their first home game of the season, and it was a nail-biter till the end. The Urban Knights, after tip-off, struck first with a layup that was quickly answered by East Bay with a 3-pointer. After 6 minutes of play, the Pioneers began to pull away with about 14 minutes left in the first half, and freshman guard Gary Davis made a layup that fired up the team. RU began to chip away at the 11-point lead set by the Pioneers. The Knights went into the locker room at halftime with the game tied at 38. The second half was closely fought, but in the end, it was the Pioneers prevailing 79-74. The Urban Knights are still looking for the first win of the season. Now, the women were set to travel to Chico State this past weekend, but due to hazardous air conditions from the fires in the Chico area, the game was canceled and has not been rescheduled yet. Fingers crossed the air quality improves so they can play this weekend at San Francisco State. Now, esports may be an inside game, but this weekend's event was canceled. The gaming department canceled all the events for the rest of the month, and the reason is to put their final touches on their production studio. Well, folks, that's all we have for today with RU Sports. This is Amy Smith. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Amy, for that sports update. A turtle lost one of his fins in an unfortunate boating accident. For almost 20 years, he swam using a life jacket device that limited him to swimming only in circles. He couldn't even go underwater. Now Rocky's back in action as he was gifted with a prosthetic limb. As soon as he got it, he started swimming effortlessly, like he never lost a fin. For now, Rocky only gets the fin for an hour a day, but eventually he will get to use it for good.
Now it's time for Everything Entertainment with our very own Noah Dublin.
Thank you, Ash. Welcome everyone to today's entertainment segment. The new and animated Grinch has been outstanding seller
When mechanics and art meld into one,
with a worldwide gross of $151 million, while going against a production budget of $75 million. The movie doing most of that damage within the United States, having a gross of $126 million. Illumination is the one producing this outstanding film, who has made many great films such as Dr. Seuss and the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. One of the most iconic movies of the 90s, Generation is coming back for the final time. Pixar is set to release the final movie in the Toy Story series, Toy Story number 4. The end of the Toy Story 3 left the audience in confusion with a new child for Woody, Buzz, and the gang to start with a new adventure. Pixar has dropped a teaser trailer for this upcoming film to make people get excited for what the future will hold.
Flows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds.
From one big upcoming release to a massive in-theaters blockbuster, we go right on over to Freddie Mercury and Bohemian Rhapsody. The life of one of the best entertainers of all time has been transformed into an outstanding film called Bohemian Rhapsody. directed by Bryan Singer and produced by former Queen manager Jim Beach. The film has grossed worldwide an amount up to $384 million on a production budget of only about $50 million. The twin of former Freddie Mercury being Rami Malek, who does an outstanding job portraying his life and the social issues he went through every day. But most importantly, being able to portray the showmanship of Freddie Mercury. Action is one thing Mark Wahlberg is familiar with in movies like Shooter and Contraband. Now in 2018, he is back at it with the action-packed film Mile 22, playing a covert operative trying to save a life and make sure his team gets the job done. A surprise cast member to the film is now WWE wrestler Ronda Rousey. Wahlberg got some criticism on his latest film, with people saying it was confusing and a chaotic mess. While people were tearing down the film, it still managed to make $65 million worldwide. Moving into more comedic and romantic role for the action film star Mark Wahlberg, going into a movie about adopting not one, not two, but 3 children that are brother and sister. Mark Wahlberg and his wife co-star Rose Byron. The cast of this blockbuster is loaded with stars such as comedians Tom Segura and Eliza Schlesinger. Sean Anders, the screenplay writer who went through this in real life with his 3 children and the struggles and triumphs that come with that. Make sure you go and see a different side of the action star in a heartwarming and loving film. That will be all for your entertainment. I'm Noah Dobbin. Back to you guys.
Leonardo da Vinci was one of the first artists to bring together both art and science. Now, since centuries later, artists from all over the world are doing the same. Monique Nethington has more about this magical world where art and science meet.
When mechanics and art meld into one, you get automata. With the push of a button and turn of a crank, whimsical sculptures come to life to bring you an entirely new kind of art. It's an art form that drew Keith Newstead, the featured artist of the Exploratorium's Curious Contraptions exhibit, from behind a cubicle and into the world of automata, creating beautiful and interesting moving sculptures from just about any material he could get his hands on.
I really like art, and I really wanted to be a book illustrator, but it's hard to find work, and I couldn't find work. So I also like mechanics, and when I was a dispatch rider, I used to take my motorbike to bits and fix it. So when I saw the first automata, it's kind of like moving illustrations, and that movement side of it was actually more interested in the illustration side. So I really got into that and trying to get really nice, smooth movements, and making the movement more of the art. And the fact that it looks nice is kind of secondary to me.
Newstead's work, just like the one he likes to call his non-robot sculpture named Redbird, is featured in the exhibit alongside works from Patrick Bond, Peter Markey, and Ron Fuller.
So I actually talked to the museum curator who told me why this piece by Carlos Zapata is her actual favorite piece in the entire Curious Contraptions exhibition.
I love so many of them, but we do have one that returned this year that I'm very fond of, which is called the Broken Hearts Repair Man. And it's a little man who is in his little workshop. And I love that because we're in our workshop here at the museum too. And he's fixing broken hearts. So he has one box that are broken and one box that are mended. So he's mending the broken heart. And the artist who built that, Carlos Zapata, was here last year with us, and he told us the whole story. It happened after a heartbreak, and he was, trying to sort of heal himself, and he made that piece. And I just love that. It's romantic, it's sweet, but it's also kind of a lovely sort of homage to makers and crafters and people who created and built things.
To see more work by other automata makers like Keith Newstead, head on over to the Exploratorium at Pier 15. In San Francisco, I'm Monique Nethington for your Urban Nights Update.
And that just about wraps it up for this edition of Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update.
For everyone here, thank you for joining us. I'm Ash Shang.
And I'm Shyla Miller. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you back next time.